Well, welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. We've got a bit of a different one for you today, and it's not even completely what you're thinking. Of course, if I say that somebody wants to give us their kid, there's normally only two options. They would like us to have another child without making one ourselves and just have theirs, which is not the case. And the other option is they want us to have their baby goat, or at least presenting us the opportunity. So this is not completely what you think, and we'll get into that in a minute. But at the moment, we're gonna mosey on over there, and we're gonna pick up this little goat, and then we're gonna do something a little different with it. Stay tuned, and we'll show you what's going on.
Okay, so we're headed over to the neighbors down the road, and we're going to go pick up a little baby goat. It's a Kiko boar, is that right?
75% Kiko.
75% Kiko and 25% boar. And it's from an older couple, and they had an older goat who had triplets a couple times now. Last time they let the mom keep the baby and nurse all three of the triplets, and this year she was thinking it was probably too much for her to go through that again, so she took one off and started bottle feeding it, and now they're thinking that they want to pass that little bottle baby goat on to somebody else, so they offered it up to us. So that's why we are headed up there to go get that baby goat and give it a new home.
There was 3 of these little bucklings, and they were all brothers. They were triplets, and this is the one we chose to get. So, yeah. And he is not disbudded, and they were born on the 5th of March. So there was another one that looked kind of like him. It was a darker brown, and it didn't have as much white, I don't think. And then there was another one that was more like white, creamier color, like its dad. And he's about 2 weeks old now. And so then before we left, they gave him his ear piercing. And he actually hasn't really whined at all, like on the way home or when we were there too much, so that's nice. So he nursed quite a bit before we left, and so then the only thing we'll have to do is train him to a bottle and how to nurse off of it.
Seems like a good, happy little kid though, and even with the decision of which one to have, I think those other ones may eventually just get eaten. So with this one, they too were kind of looking at what would be the best sire for a herd. And when somebody's giving you something for free and there's options, you don't always want to just kind of be greedy about it and take the best thing you could possibly think of. So that was kind of more just letting them kind of determine what they thought would be the best. So because of how deep-bodied he is, how nice his back looks, as far as nice and straight, he's not sway-backed. We thought that this would be a good one. That's what they suggested. So we said, yeah, sounds good to us. The kids got some time with a whole pile of little baby kids. So that was fun for all of them. And then this is the one that we got now. This is like the most vocal he's been since we got him. He's a good-looking little guy. He feels little horns coming in. And the cool thing about Kiko, about 75% Kiko, 25% boar. Those are both meat goats. The Kiko are originally from New Zealand, and they're known for being a very parasite-resistant goat breed. So a lot of times that's something that people are really going to be interested in, especially if they're not trying to keep them full of like just injectable or oral dewormers and parasite, killers all the time. So that's why Kiko are really popular. Another cool thing about the Kikos is that they have like a low birth weight. So they're born pretty small, and then they grow rapidly. This guy here, being born on the 5th, he's just over 2 weeks old now, and he looks amazing as far as just his size. So that's really encouraging. And this one here is actually going to head to some other friends of ours. We were given the option to have them, and they wanted to give us a kid. You know, they gave us the option, but they said we could pass it on too. So we debated whether we were going to keep this one for ourselves or pass them on. The last goat that we had, we actually gave to some friends of ours because they were getting into goats, and we were going to be focusing on sheep. So that's what we're doing right now. We're focusing on sheep. We had our last goat, Blueberry. We sent her to our friends, and she's done really well there. She just had 2 kids just a little bit ago. And the cool thing too is we got Blueberry, our last goat we had, which was a predominantly Kiko meat goat. They had swapped their herd sire since we got Blueberry to when this one was born. So Blue was the one that sired Blueberry, hence the name Blueberry. And Lucky is the one that sired this one, so they're actually unrelated. And we're going to send this one to our friends, and they're going to use this as a herd sire. They were hoping to have a buck that was unrelated to all of their goats. They have a La Mancha, they have a couple Nubians, they have our old Kiko, and they were hoping to have one that was unrelated to them all. And one thing that people like to do sometimes is that sometimes people who have milk goats will use a meat goat breed to be the sire. And what happens is if you're just trying to keep your goats pregnant and in milk so that you're able to milk them and you're kind of running the extras, one thing that happens is if you use a meat goat as the sire, then you're getting some bigger offspring while you're still getting the milk from your milk goats, but you're getting some bigger offspring in the kids, and then that's just a better goat to be eating, which is one thing, you know, around the world. I think goat meat is the #1 most popular meat, and it's just less common a lot of places in the United States. But we like deer, we like sheep, we like goat. It's not uncommon, and anything that you're able to do yourself to be providing for your own family and not having to rely on the grocery shelves, which the price can vary a lot, and then the availability can vary a lot too. It's just going to be better to take those things in your own hands. So that's one thing our friends are doing. That's one thing we're doing. And that's why we got this little guy here. He's just got some dandruff and different stuff. So I'm trying to brush him out and peck him clean. But you can see, I mean, he just left his brothers. He just left his mom. And this is how much he's freaking out about it so far. Like Pinky said, he just had a full belly. So he's not going to be, you know, hungry yet. But when that time comes, hopefully we can get him to take a bottle, because he's going to be a bottle baby goat for a bit. And one thing, whether it's a calf, whether it's a lamb, whether it's a kid, if you have a bottle baby, those are going to be the friendlier ones.
And why they would be friendlier is because you feed them and they learn that you are the one who's going to be feeding them, and that's where they're going to be getting all of their food and everything that they need. So then they kind of bond with whoever's feeding them and people. So that's why they would be more friendly than baby goats that are with their moms.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you got a skittish mom and the mom's the one giving the babies the milk and she runs away every time she sees people, that's what the babies are going to learn to do. If this one knows that it has to come to a person to get fed, then it's going to be more likely to run up to people. And that's why a lot of times bottle babies, like our cow, are going to be some of the friendliest, cutest little animals you're going to have. And then as they grow into adults, same thing, they're going to be real good with people. And yeah, just some of the friendliest, you know, most enjoyable animals you could possibly have on a homestead or farm.
days later now, and he hasn't been crying for his mom or his brothers, and he's learning to take a bottle. And then they'll cover up his eyes like this, so he doesn't see that his mom is missing.
So this is our old goat, Blueberry, that we passed along. It was the last one we had. And she threw these beautiful ones. I think the bucklings in front with the bigger horns. Good looking fella. Beautiful coat, beautiful color. And then behind is his sister. And she threw doubles. She did good. And she actually came from the same place that that kid did. But they've got different moms and different dads. So he'll be able to breed her and get some predominantly Kiko, you know, meat goats for the next generation. So that'll be good. Those are some really, really good looking goats though. Good job, Blueberry. Good job, Blueberry. Yeah. How are ya? Remember me? You remember me. There you go, girl. Good girl. Beautiful, beautiful offspring you got there. Yeah, look at that. That's a good looking family there. What about you? There you go. So I've been kind of impressed because a lot of times if you take a kid away from its mom, there'll be a lot of bleeding, there'll be a lot of crying, a lot of loud noises, and creatures like this can be very vocal. They can make a lot of noise, so I'm really surprised he wasn't just crying out constantly for his mom or his siblings. Like we said when we had him at our place, he was very chill, and he's been very chill. He's taken his bottle well, he's got good energy. They kind of got him quarantined in here, and they'll kind of bring their other milk goats in here, their other goats and milk the big ones, but then soon he'll have a whole pile of young playmates to play with once he gets let out of here. They just wanted to make sure there was no real issues with him, and so far I think he's doing really good, a good fit for this homestead here. And if we were into goats right now, it would be a wonderful blessing for us, but we just it wasn't a good fit for what we were up to, so we figured we'd pass on that blessing, and our friends were more than happy to receive it. I'm really blown away at how well it's worked out, just because, you know, it's not always easy to make a bottle baby, and it's not always peaceful either. Sometimes there'll be a lot of resistance, a lot of noise, and stuff like that.
Hope you enjoyed the video and seeing the sky again. Pinky out. Thank you for watching. And the left one. Thumbs up.